And joining us now to do so from a unique perspective on the Deseret First Credit Union Hotline is former BYU basketball legend, NBA veteran, and a longtime NBA analyst in Los Angeles, Michael Smith. Michael, nice to have you back on the show. I wish it were under different pretenses, but we appreciate the time. And let's start here. What was your reaction to the news of Kobe Bryant dying in a helicopter crash along with 8 others?
First of all, disbelief, right? I was in town Saturday to do a Jazz game, but I was in Vegas Friday, so I drove my kids there, and they were in this huge dance competition the whole weekend. So believe it or not, I'm like driving to Vegas and getting things set up for Friday night competition. Saturday morning, I jump on a plane. I go to Salt Lake. We do that 3 o'clock Jazz game, great victory over the Mavericks, and then fly back. And then Sunday's the final day of the competition. So I'm sitting in this huge auditorium and kind of in the details of changing costumes for our kids and all that. And I'm on a group text chain with my fellow Jazz broadcasters whom I love, like Boone and Thurl and Bowlerjack and Kristen and Olema and David Locke. And we're, that's just one of those group text things that sits on your phone. And Thurl says to everyone, "Did you see the Kobe story?" And so immediately I click on it, and this is moments after it happens, right? So TMZ is the only source, and like we're all kind of going back and forth, and we're obviously in disbelief first. Like nobody is, like I'm not believing the story. I'm like, no way. I mean, he just tweeted last night congratulating LeBron. I think one of us even joked, like, boy, he's taken LeBron passing him very hard. I mean, we just were in shock. And then, like, we started searching, and the next word was Fox News confirming and U.S. Weekly confirming, ESPN confirming. I was like, no way. And guys, I'm not going to say I'm not an emotional guy. I am. I'm one of these Renaissance guys who loves music and, loves great literature and movies and can be moved by those things to tears. But at the same time, in the funerals I've been to and moments where someone has passed, I'm not one to break down. And I'm literally sitting in this auditorium full of all these parents, hundreds of people, and I lose it. I lost it. My wife runs over. She's like, "What the heck just happened?" And I'm like, "Kobe was just killed." And she's like, "What?" And it's not like I'm best friends with him. We're colleagues and brothers, fraternal brothers from the NBA. But I have had, 100+ encounters with him because we shared the same building and shared the same airport. And he and I are like the only two that lived down where we live, which is an hour south of L.A. In all these years, the last 20 years, everyone else lived up, to put it in Utah terms, like the Jazz and their broadcasters and their workers all lived in the Salt Lake area, but Kobe and I, so the equivalent of like whatever, Bowler and Donovan lived in Provo. You know what I mean? That's kind of the equivalent. We're like, we bonded on that and bonded on our language skills. We both spoke Italian and Spanish, but I lost it. And it just, I don't know, it was so, and I was just with him 3 weeks ago. And I don't mean we sat together at a game, but we were both courtside at a game, and I walked over and we chatted for like 8 minutes before the game started. It was Lakers-Mavericks. And it was shocked. I was shocked, stunned, and deeply saddened. And, I was a wreck all day. And it was just a dichotomy because I'm in the midst of celebrating my kids performing in these great musicals and competitions. And my son was the lead in this Cats production for their group, and they took the Platinum Award. They won the best overall performance of the whole thing. And so I'm experiencing the whole gamut of emotions in one day. It was really surreal.
The connection everyone feels to him is really unique. Bill Simmons said this is the saddest day in sports history, and I think we agree with that. What was it about him that made us all connect to him in this unique way and mourn him so intensely.
You loved him or you hated him. I mean, you just did. I grew up here in L.A., so when I'm in high school, imagine the Lakers winning 5 titles, right? And Magic is the Messiah. Magic, because the Lakers have a long history of losing before Magic. So this has to go back to our older listeners who, the younger generation won't recall it because the NBA was not on TV, and the NBA is not even on TV when Magic is doing his magical things. It really isn't. I mean, guys, you two are too young to even understand this, but when I'm 14 or 15 and loving basketball, there's one game a week on Sunday at 12:30, right in the middle of church usually, and one on Friday night at 11:30 on tape delay, and that's it. Mm. There's no internet, there's no highlights other than your local, anchors, your sports anchors, who, could show you glimpses for their 2.5 minutes of television at night. And that's it. You lived with that. But I guess the stories became larger. But this guy was the villain you love to hate. And he was also, if he was on your side, man, you loved him. You thought he could deliver anything. So if Magic was the Messiah, this guy's the second coming, right? He's the second coming to Laker greatness. The first one brings 5 titles. He brings 5 more. And I think it's harder to do the second time, but at least geographically, like locally in Los Angeles, Kobe was beloved. I'd say a large portion of the Laker fan base is not the Showtime Hollywood, front row seats. Their fan base is built by the upper bowls. And a lot of that fan base speaks Spanish. They're not of the higher income, and they loved him. And maybe it's because Kobe spoke Spanish and Italian, and maybe it's because, I don't know, there was something about him that, aside from the incredible skills and work ethic, and listen, he had his ups and downs, right? He has the indiscretion and the trial in 2003 that, if you hated him already, you probably hated him more. And then, of course, he's the guy with, ice in his veins who walked into arenas and can go from shooting air balls in the playoffs against the Jazz to years later breaking their hearts.
Michael Smith, former BYU legend, longtime NBA analyst with us on BYU Sports Nation. It was emotional to watch his interactions with his daughter, Gianna. And Kobe had 4 daughters, and it was clear that they were priority number 1 for him, his family. And I really enjoyed watching him take his Mamba mentality to being a father and a father figure, and I appreciated that. And Jarom said earlier, I liked him more after he retired because he wasn't killing the Jazz or killing your favorite team. But as great of a basketball player as he was, I liked what he was doing as a father in the public eye and for women's sports. So, I mean, what kind of legacy is he going to leave behind when you consider everything he was doing?
I think it's pretty self-evident, like the reaction globally is telling, it's revealing. And, this guy's not perfect. He was never perfect. And self-absorbed, yes. Psychotic in a self-interested way, yes. I don't mean that clinically, but I mean just obsessed with becoming great. And so as a player like that gives you what we determine his all, right, for 20 years. And the way he goes out is memorable with 60 against the Jazz in his final game. And it's interesting, Bowler on our group text yesterday says, we called his last game. I mean, they did. But yet then to turn it off at the end of it all and be able to be so at peace with what he gave, I think is admirable. I think we look at that and we say, okay, we didn't like this guy for a lot of the time. I mean, I loved him because I grew up here. Imagine my secret conflict, right? Working for the Clippers, but yet loving the Lakers because they were my team growing up. And so I often would say that I rooted for the Lakers every single game except when they played the Clippers. And they never played in the playoffs, so the Clippers were usually out. And then I could, like, truly show my colors and root for them, the Lakers, to win. But it's admirable. It's refreshing to see someone give it so much, and when it was done, say, I'm out, and then go embrace what's next and give it my all there. And I would say the next step has been, business and artistic pursuit and first and foremost family. And so these images that we're all seeing of him and his daughter courtside, I just witnessed that. 3 weeks ago, I'm looking across the court watching him teach her at a game. And specifically, they were there to see Luka Doncic. And Kobe made sure Luka came over and said hello to his daughter. That was surreal to me. 3 weeks ago, here Kobe, as great as he is, and let me put his greatness in perspective, guys, right? His first year, he averages 7, then 15, then 19. The next 3 years, and he's drafted as a 17-year-old, right? He's born in August of 78. He's drafted in June of 96. He's not 18.
Crazy.
When he's drafted. It's unreal. And so those first 3 years, he's just trying to figure it out. But the next 3 years, he wins titles. 2000, 01, 02, they win it all. The next 6 years, he is not only the best player in the NBA, in my opinion, he's so much better than everyone else that one of the greatest travesties of his life is during that stretch, he wins one MVP, only one. He's not only the best in the league during that time, he's so by far the best, that it's sickening to me that he doesn't win. But he's not liked by the media. He's not fan-friendly. He's not adored like Steve Nash was. He's not fresh and new like Nowitzki was. And the media gets voter fatigue, right? Otherwise, Michael Jordan would have won MVP every year. Apologies to Karl Malone. And LeBron would win MVP every year. Apologies, right, to the other guys who win them in those stretches. But during those 6 years, the media falls in love with the pace of the Phoenix Suns. And I love Nash to death and think he's brilliant for being less than physically dominant. To do what he did and win an MVP was awesome. And the next year, his numbers are better. So they had to give it to him again. And in that stretch, you give a title or an MVP to Nowitzki because he was great for 1 year. But those and those 6 years, Kobe's so much better than everyone that it's. But anyway, I think it's great. He wins an Oscar. 4 weeks ago, a new company I'm doing, we went to meet with his people in Malibu and pitched it to him. And so that's one of the reasons and one of the things I talked to him about at the game. I was like, hey, did your people tell you about my new company? And he goes, no, not yet. I'm going to get on them. I said, good. And I said, have you picked up golf yet? He goes, Mike, first of all, I'm terrible. And I said, I can teach you to become great because you don't want to be terrible. And he says the following to me. He says, I don't have the time to become great at golf. There's too much life out there to live. That's 3 weeks ago, guys. Mm-hmm. That's his comment to me. I'm like, we live down here 10 minutes away. I'm like, I'll teach you how to play. He goes, no, I got too many things I still want to do. I mean, it's just super sad.
Yeah. Mike, it's great to catch up with you. We appreciate the time, and I know this is a really hard thing for you to process personally, but we collectively offer you our thanks to help us as we try and process the loss of Kobe Bryant as well.
I appreciate being on, guys. You guys do a great job. Go Cougs, go Jazz.
You got it. Thanks. Michael Smith on the Deseret First Credit Union Hotline. Deseret First, you know why, we show how.